Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
Yes, that's right. And that demand's so lacking that we can't afford heating.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
It's cold. It's not cold enough that you've got gloves on again, but it's cold.
I left my gloves in the car. I did drive down here wearing gloves. Sheepskin gloves.
What's with the UK being so cold?
I don't know.
Can we move this show to somewhere sunny?
Yes. Yeah, can we do this like on a beach? So behind us just waves
like Costa del Sol.
Yes.
You're in full
like
Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth mode, aren't you?
I am. Can't stop playing it.
Do you know, it makes me I'm like a proud dad.
I love it.
And every time I talk to you, I'm like you came around this morning, I'm like, tell me about Final Fantasy 7. Tell me about it. Tell me about your experience.
Yes. Well, you've been trying to get me to play Final Fantasy 7 for years.
yeah.
Literally. I never played the first one. Like I played bits of it. And I never owned it as a kid.
Yeah.
So my friend had it, and I used to go around and watch him play. But I've never been I'm such a hypocrite because I love Pokemon games, but I never was a big fan of turn-based.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't get into it. Which I don't know. Like some games I can deal with it, but I just couldn't get into. And I think Final Fantasy 7 aged so much.
Yeah,
I couldn't get into it. And it was so hard. I was just like, nah. And then Remake came out and I still put it off.
Yeah.
And then finally, somehow, you were like, just blah, 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 blah. And I finally did. And I played it through. And then Rebirth came out. And obviously, at that point, I think I sold my PS5. And then it came out on PC and was like, right, sweet, I'll play it now then. So I got it. And I've not stopped playing it. And I said to myself, I'm just going to do the main quest.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do any of the side quests. I've 100%ed every single thing so far. Everything so far.
I want to know if that's going to carry on. That's my intrigue.
I don't know how far. I'm 26 hours in, I think.
You're at the Costa del Sol.
Yes.
You're... let me think. You're about 1/3
I was thinking
through,
about
maybe a quarter.
Yeah. So, yeah,
things haven't gone crazy yet. They've gone awry yet.
No. I've just put Tifa in a bikini.
It's one of the highlights of the game, I'll be honest.
So, yeah, that's what I've done. And I'm loving it. I'm loving 100%ing it because, like, I hear open world and I go, ugh. Like, it puts me off.
I think,
it's like hearing turn-based and you kind of go, ugh. Like, or like, I imagine how people see, like, 2.5D and they go, ugh. But I see, like, Metroid Dread and be like,
yeah, totally.
So I hear open world and I go, oh, it's because it's so daunting. I know it's going to take me hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
I don't like being the like, where do I go now?
And that like fetch quest problem of like, I need to go all the way far away.
So I really had like dread coming into this game. And then when I actually started playing it and realized it's not open world, it's like zones. It's like Pokemon Arceus or, or Xenoblade or anything like that. Like it's like little zoned areas and then you move through them. And then that completely changed my attitude then. I went, it's almost linear. Do you know what I mean? Like to the point where you've got like a zone and I know I can go round the outside, clear the fog of war and then like do everything in that area, then be happy. I can put that to like done and go. With open worlds, I start veering off and then I don't complete anything. Yeah. And then I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. And then I just get bored and either stop playing.
That paralysis of decision you get. Yeah. I think one thing they've done incredibly well in that game was the pacing of that.
Pacing is so good. In
Pacing's
Final Fantasy
really
7.
good.
Yeah, the Rebirth.
You have a nice slow pace to a big open world and you can go all the side quests and the fetching and the artifact, all the rest of it, all the fights you have to do. And then for a considerable amount of time, it will concentrate you into a really linear experience. Yeah,
super linear, like through the caves or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A really hardcore part of the story. It'll take you through it. Mm-hmm. And then it will spit you out maybe 5 hours later into another big open world area again. Now you can take your time again.
Yeah.
It paces it really well. I know I criticised it on its release on PS5. There's a few, like kind of reflecting on it, I think there's a few reasons why. The first is, I think for fans, like diehard fans like me, who like really want to know what happened in the story.
Yes.
I was really impatient to find out what happened.
Yeah, you just want to rush through and see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start off really loving the experience and then getting impatient that I'm not finding out what's happening.
Yeah.
You steam ahead. And I think one of the other ones is the technical aspect of it on PS5 diminishes the experience wildly.
Switch mode.
Yeah, I mean Vaseline potato mode.
Yeah.
Like areas like Costa del Sol or Junyan Harbour or even the grasslands at the start, when they look amazing, it's way more enticing to be wandering around.
Oh, yeah.
even if you're happy to scale back how it looks a little bit, but it performs amazing. The experience is more seamless. You're not pulled out of it by that technical issue all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But on PS5, there is no good way to play it.
No, unless you play on the Pro.
Unless you play on the Pro. And, well, I haven't got a Pro, so we've criticised the Pro enough. If you're stuck in PlayStation ecosystem, it's the definitive way to play any PlayStation game.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a must-have for PlayStation fans.
And maybe by this time next year, or maybe by the end of this year, it'll be reasonably priced enough to consider.
When it's priced accordingly, then I think it'll be good. And that will give it enough time to get Pisser up to scratch and stuff like that, you know.
Because they are taking it at the moment, aren't
they are taking the Pisser hard.
At what price point does the PS5 Pro make sense?
What's it at the minute?
I think it's 8, isn't it?
Is it $799? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. $550.
Yeah. It's funny because in my head I was like 600.
Yeah,
and
600.
I'll jump in.
Yeah, 599.
You can't get anything comparable on PC for 600.
No.
I'm trying to think what else is 600. Maybe like the OG Ally, the Z1 Extreme version.
Yeah.
It sits a bit less than that now.
It's less than that now, yeah.
That's the problem. When you start getting to like 800, then I can get into PC gaming quite comfortably.
Yeah.
I can get into handheld PC gaming and have all the advantages of portability and all the huge advantages of PC gaming.
Yes.
Like every game ever is available to me pretty much since the dawn of time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like it's all there. Yeah. PS5, I can play PS5 and PS4 games.
Yeah, I mean, they are struggling. I mean, I understand why they came in with that price point, because they were like, look at this. They were trying to like say how good it was by having an elevated price point, I guess. And
also there was a shift in business model with Sony.
Yes. Yeah.
They've stopped the loss lead thing because they were hemorrhaging money on hardware.
Yeah. So that's probably why, but I don't know, like PS5 Pro, if that's the way of playing this game, then you can have a great time. Again, when I saw the footage...
It's not that much of a step up, is it?
Well, I don't know. It's a considerable jump up from base PS5.
From Vaseline mode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I couldn't play how you played it.
It was miserable.
That was the thing for me. I felt really bad when I was playing it. I sent you through some screenshots, didn't I? And I was like, this is incredible. I'm playing 4K 60, you know, like... On my TV, 77-inch OLED, and it looks so crisp.
The enhancements they've made to like the lighting and stuff.
Yeah, on the PC.
On the PC version, it looks so good.
It's so good. Like that's what part of me made me want to wander around the world more, because I was like, it just looks so inviting.
Fully agree with that.
You know, it looks so good, and I was thinking, I feel so bad for AJ that he couldn't experience this.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because I probably would have done the same. I probably okay, I'll just rush the story.
Trying to get through this now.
Yeah. Whereas at the minute, I'm taking my time to really enjoy it.
So I'm really torn now.
Yeah.
I really want to go back and relive it because I'm kind of living it through you.
Yeah,
and it's it's getting me excited about that story and that world again. And I'm like, I really want to go back and give it more time. But also, I know as soon as I jump in, I'm going to be really disappointed again because of how it is.
Just buy it again on PC.
I could just play it on PC, couldn't I?
You could, yeah. AJ's got, they got from me an RTX 3070 gaming PC, essentially, which is what he records all his videos onto with a capture card.
Yeah.
You know, the news videos on this channel and everything. But he doesn't use it for gaming.
No, I don't.
He just records into it.
Do you know what's hilarious, though? Is that because I originally set it up for streaming, which we don't do anymore, the consoles are playing through it.
Yeah. You're playing through the capture card. Yeah. Yeah.
So
amazing.
In order to play games, I've got to turn the PC on anyway.
So that 3070, I mean, Rebirth's got like a minimum requirement of like a 2060.
Yeah.
So a 3070, you could totally play at 1440p at 60 FPS, I reckon, with DLSS.
I've only got a 1080p monitor anyway.
Well, there you go. So 1080p, you could, you can upscale or downscale on PC. So you could render out at 1440p, but then downscale it to 1080p to get a better image quality. So
whatever.
So you could could be playing Rebirth on there. I do have a bit of a nitpick with the PC version.
Oh.
Because anyone that knows Rebirth on PC, there's some issues like Unreal 4 engine problems and stuff.
Frame skipping or something.
They fixed some of that.
Yeah.
And they did a patch recently, and I don't think they said they fixed it, but it seems like people were getting better performance out of it. It just had like stability improvements or whatever. I've been locking my FPS outside of the game to sort the frame
smart, yeah.
pacing and stuff out. Did that day one, and it fixed my issues. But there's some like stuttering and stuff that you can't get over depending on what system you have, like CPU limitations. But what I had an issue with is the game launched just days out of NVIDIA releasing DLSS 4.
I forgot about this.
And the 50 series cards, right? So the game released, this is Square, and they don't do anything like normal, do they?
No.
And it's the same with the game options. It's so weird. You've got some settings that are like low or high.
Yeah.
Other settings that are low, medium, or high. It's like, why is everything different? Like, why is there not the same like settings on all of them?
Standardize it all.
Yeah. It's like really odd. And then there's no upscaling. Oh, but there is. DLSS is there, but then it doesn't give you the classic performance mode, balance mode. No, you have to go into DRS, so like dynamic resolution scaling, and then change that to affect what mode DLSS is on. It's like, this is so confusing. If you don't know PCs, you would have no idea what this is. Like, you want to see DLSS, yes, performance mode, balance mode, quality mode. That would do. Everyone can understand that. But the way they've done it is so janky. But that's not my problem. The problem being that they released it just days out of DLSS 4, and there's no DLSS 4 support.
No.
What's with that? And then, weirdly,
there was an announcement, wasn't there?
NVIDIA keeps going, oh, look at these games that are being benefited by DLSS. But they don't say which one.
No.
They just say it's got DLSS. So they're implying, Rebirth's made better with DLSS, which it is. DLSS is brilliant. That's the only way I can run it on my 4K TV with a 4070 going through an eGPU where I'm losing up to 30% performance anyway, via a handheld. So I've got the most like convoluted setup ever, and it's running perfectly because of DLSS. But why don't they just patch in DLSS 4? And with NVIDIA's DLSS 4 release, they redid the app so that you can force DLSS 4 on for games. But Rebirth isn't supported by the app. So you can't check it in your like games installed. If you add it manually via the .exe, it says, sorry, not supported. But then if you go onto NVIDIA's DLSS 4 games supported, Rebirth's in the list. It's like,
weird.
What? Like, what's going on here? So like, I don't understand what's going on.
When I was doing the news video this week, I saw that announcement.
Yeah.
And I know you'd sent it to me as well. And I was trying to dig into it to figure out what is compatible in Rebirth.
Yeah.
Because there's no information. It's just there listed as the game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, right, okay, so what is it? Do we have frame gen? Is DLSS upscaling in there?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes, old DLSS.
Nothing. Just no information.
No, they don't say, do they?
No.
It's like wicked. And it said, enjoy
buy the game
this.
and find out.
The latest tweet from NVIDIA that I remember seeing the other day was, enjoy DLSS improvements this week in these games. But it didn't say that they were going to like update these games to support it. So it was just saying, play these games this week to experience DLSS. Like, what?
Okay.
Like, I don't understand. Like, just tell us, is the game going to get it or not? You can mod it in, so you can force DLSS 4 into it. And I'm holding off doing that just to see if they actually natively like update the game.
Yeah.
Or if NVIDIA like force it in there themselves. But I don't know. Regardless, DLSS has saved it for me. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to be playing at like 1440p instead of 4K.
One of the channel members yesterday I was talking to him. I was actually playing Call of Duty and he was there.
Oh, yeah.
Pork.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
And he said to me, he goes, that Final Fantasy game you talk about, was it really that bad on the PlayStation? Or were you doing like the YouTube thing and like being over the top? It was like, honestly, we don't really do the over the top thing. It may sound like it.
Yeah.
But it was that bad. It was
just look at YouTube videos.
Yeah, it was a miserable experience. It's hard to explain if you've not actually experienced it.
Yeah, or just seen it. Like, seriously, if you just go and look, even at the announcement trailer, it's like, oh! You know? When I was doing your news video, I was doing the edit, and I was like, I just wanted some more footage. So I was like, I'll get the PS5 trailer.
Potato mode.
Yeah, I had to put it on the screen, because you're talking about the PC version, and I was like, this looks like ass.
It looks like the Nintendo Switch version.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, man, this is terrible. Yeah. And I'm loving it, like, on PC.
I'm
really
excited to see what is capable on the Nintendo Switch when it drops on that.
Yes.
Because it's going to. It's not been announced yet, but it's going to.
It's totally going to be on Switch.
Because obviously Square now multi-platform as well. So it'll be on Switch. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like on that. And if it's comparable to how it looks on the PS5. I know, like, if you were to make your screen resolution like for like, it wouldn't be. But like from the 8-inch screen that the Switch 2 is going to have to the
even docked, the Switch 2 is going to have DLSS of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's going to be interesting. And that makes that conversation about the Switch 2 even more exciting. And I still love the comparisons that people are still making to what the hardware is going to be. It's like a PS4. It's just not like anything like that. And that conversation's irrelevant. It doesn't make sense anymore in the world of like DLSS kind of styled upscaling and frame gen and stuff. Those conversations don't make sense anymore.
No.
The whole thing's changed. Even with the 50 series cards, when people are talking about the marginal gains in performance that you're getting, they've always been quite marginal from generation to generation. Which is why most people skip a generation before upgrading.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the conversation doesn't make as much sense as it did last generation, like with the amount of kind of AI-based enhancements that you can get now.
Yes.
That changes everything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And we've done a whole episode on why frame gen sucks.
Oh, yes, yeah. Or it might not even be out yet.
Will have an episode.
We may or may not have filmed that not this week.
I get confused. I'm supposed to be professional, not let them behind the curtain of like how we film these things. But talking to Switch 2,
yes,
there was an interesting thing that came out this week about the thing that we all kind of guessed from the trailer.
Yes.
Mouse mode.
Yeah. Mouse mode.
Mouse mode. And mouse mode's kind of been confirmed by the publishing of a patent from Nintendo showing mouse mode.
Yes.
And the patent for it. And it's got me really confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think the first and foremost for everyone is, what is the use case for it?
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with, because the only way I can see it being usable is because in Nintendo's mind, you've got three ways of playing the Switch. You've got docked,
you've
got handheld, or you've got tabletop mode.
They do love tabletop mode, don't they?
Yes, so that's the only way I can see it working, because if you've got the tablet on its stand on the table, then you're most likely to be at a flat surface.
Who plays tabletop mode?
No.
I'd like to know, like, what's the breakdown there? Like, I know there's no way of like recording it on Switch, but
I've done it quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm just kind of intrigued. Like, have you used it tabletop mode?
Yeah, I have. Even on a plane and stuff, I've like propped it up, or a train. I've propped it up on the table and then just had the Joy-Con separate.
Okay.
But I don't rest my hands on the table.
Maybe there is scope for it then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look at all the original Switch trailers, they're all
and that's what I mean. Like Nintendo, like really focus
yeah, they
on
love it.
They definitely love kids playing chess.
Yes, they do. Yes, yeah.
Tabletop.
Yeah, but so I can see that being their push, like, because you could use it on your lap.
Yeah.
Like mouse mode on your leg or something.
Well, that was where my head went to straight away, and I was like, that's not going to be nice.
Exactly. And if it's a docked game and they're like, do mouse mode now, you'd be
I'll get the Joy-Con out.
Yeah, I've got to get my Joy-Con out of my little Pro controller setup with that little device. So you've got to pop them out because they're magnetic now.
And it fixes into another device for mouse
so you've got to
mode.
have that somewhere, like it's down the crevice of your sofa. Like, hang on, where's that gone? Or the dog's run off with it.
Just in your top.
Yeah, that's it. So then you've got to click that into that. And then what? Like, put it on your leg?
So in the patent, there's some really questionable parts that have got me. The use cases are really spun out by it. The first one is on the right-hand Joy-Con. When you're in mouse mode and it's showing it vertically, you've obviously got the bumper and the trigger button. Yeah. Whatever they're called on SL and whatever.
L and ZR. L and ZL.
Yeah. So R and ZR.
R and ZR, yeah.
So you've got R and ZR are your like left and right click.
Yes.
That makes sense. But the thumb is rolled over and is still using the joystick in the right hand. So you've got like another axis of movement. So you've got your right hand movement as the mouse. Then you've got the joystick as well as the triggers. And I suppose also access to the A and B button.
Yes.
Of some kind.
Yeah.
There was all the 4 buttons. I don't know. And then in the same patent, the idea was that the left hand is showing it being able to be used upright at the same time. Yeah. So you have the joystick and the D-pad access and obviously the shoulder buttons as well on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Odd.
So the kind of people that were like digging into it saying, well, imagine WASD is on your left
side. Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. Movement, fine.
Yeah, what's the other one for then?
What's your thumb for? Right thumb for?
Yeah.
That doesn't, like, what's... Are we moving in 4 dimensions
Yes,
now?
yeah. That's what I was trying to think. I was like, it's going to be Star Fox Space Simulator.
Star Fox 4D.
No, simulator. Like, you know how
Yes.
like Microsoft Flight Simulator is like
okay.
an actual pilot.
Yeah.
This is like real life Star Fox. So you have to do like all the controls.
Maybe there's going to be an attachment for the Switch to go
Yes, over your head.
over your head. So then you're like full 3D
Yes,
with the mouse.
yes.
Yeah, I can't get my head around the use case for that. Why is there 2 Joy-Cons and a mouse movement?
What's all the extra movements? Unless it's just saying that it's a possibility and then it's down to the devs how they want to implement that.
Yeah, that's plausible. But still, why would you use it?
Yeah, I don't know.
But Nintendo do these things every generation.
That's more what I'm inclined to know is how much are they going to actually use this feature?
Now, I fully expect some Nintendo party-styled games that will use them almost in a gimmicky fashion.
Yes.
And that's fine. That's fun.
Imagine WarioWare.
This moment my head went straight
Scratch
away.
your leg.
Yeah.
You know, shave your friend's face.
Move your arms and roll your arms in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Oh.
While scratching your butt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can imagine that happening.
The other thing is, in the trailer, it showed both Joy-Cons being used as mice.
Yeah, they're both running around on the table.
So that suggests that you could have 2-player mice mode.
DJ mode.
And this is the only thing that I think is the saving grace from the right joystick, your right thumb on a joystick thing.
Yes.
Is if it's 2-player mouse.
Yeah. Then you've got WSD,
on each one.
That's what I assumed until we saw that the other one was.
I just thought it was weird that they showed it in the other example as like you can have left hand and right hand. It's like, then what's your right thumb for?
Maybe you can choose. Maybe it's in the game. Like, how do you want to, run around or whatever? And you can go into the settings and change it if you're not happy.
It's a weird one. It's an interesting quirk for the Switch 2. We questioned what the quirk was going to be with it.
Yes.
And it seems like we know what it is
like
now.
Mouse mode, yeah.
Yeah, mouse mode. I just want to see what the use cases are and how it's going to be implemented. I feel like it might be another one of those kind of IR camera moments.
Yeah,
it's just not going to get used at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a gimmick that's used in like a handful of games.
Yeah.
It'll be 1, 2, 3 Switch.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
1, 2, 3 Switch 2.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 Switch, 2, 3 Switch. And then it will be probably stuff like WarioWare.
Yeah.
And any funny little party games that they come up with, like Mario Party. But I can't imagine it being used in like decent games. I could potentially see it in first-person shooters where they like are now allow Doom Dark Ages or whatever to be able to be like mouse and keyboard on Switch, where you've got left Joy-Cons WSD, and then you can aim with the right Joy-Con in mouse mode, like Call of Duty or something.
Do you know
like
what? In that scenario, you go, that's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you've got this kind of hybrid keyboard setup.
Yeah, it's like the Lenovo Legion Go kind of thing where the Joy-Cons come off and you can aim and stuff with it.
It definitely gives some versatility, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of I'm just intrigued. It's interesting.
Same, yeah. And we might be totally off the mark. They might do something so outrageous with it, but who knows?
It might not even be mouse mode.
It might not even be
They
mouse
might not
mode.
even use it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's the other thing. But I mean, they showed it in the trailer.
Yeah, it is there and they will utilize it. I just don't know how.
And you could see there's an optical sensor on it.
100%.
So,
so it will work on your leg because this is Nintendo. They're all about gameplay and practicality.
Yeah.
Like if it's actually going to work. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon it will be able to work on any surface.
Also, in big Nintendo news, not the random announcements they made this week, which were just reconfirming the same
what
things,
we already do, yeah.
Which I still confuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Take-Two, because they had their quarterly earnings nonsense.
Yes.
Firstly, GTA 5 has sold 210 million copies.
Insane.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's insane.
That must be the best, apart from Tetris, probably the best-selling game ever.
But yeah.
Maybe even more than Tetris.
I don't know.
I should have looked at the numbers before we did this.
It's insane though, isn't it? 210 million.
I was saying, we were talking about it just before, and I was saying, bear in mind that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 65 million, and that's like, what? That's one of the
massive,
biggest selling games ever. Like, that's massive. When you break it down, 210 million units. GTA 5's what, 10 years or so?
Older now. It's 12 years older.
12 years.
I've got a feeling it was 2013.
Each year, that means it sold, let's just say it's 10 to make the numbers easy for my dullard brain.
It's around 20 million a year.
Around 20 million every year. Now, if a game in its life sells 20 million, it's one of like
That's
the
amazing.
biggest games of its
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's done phenomenally well. Even if it hit it once, 1 year.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean?
It's like, wow, that was
or
the
even in its
best-selling game that year.
lifetime.
Exactly.
Even in the game's lifetime, like 5 years, whatever.
But it's done that every year for a decade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
Wow. GTA 6 is going to melt the internet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it has to be perfect.
yes.
That's the
Well, they've had
problem they've got.
freaking long enough to deal with it.
Yeah, true.
And they've got enough money to buy every game developer in the planet.
They've sold 210 million units.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Let alone all the online sales.
And they'll be
stuff.
selling it at like £400 for the game.
Well,
So,
that's going to be a really interesting point.
yeah.
They also confirmed that it's definitely coming fall this year.
Yeah.
The winter time this year. So we already knew that, but they've just reconfirmed it because there's loads of speculation about. But yeah, the price point's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be £100.
Oh, yeah. I reckon it'd be £100.
The first
Easily.
game that's going to sit there as the baseline price.
Absolutely. And if not, at least on PlayStation. It
Yeah,
will be.
yeah, for certain.
Yeah.
But the other kind of interesting part about that ties to the Switch 2 is that they confirmed that it will be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And Take-Two have said, this really annoyed me, the age of kid games on Nintendo
It's over.
is over.
Yeah.
Like, that's so disparaging
Yeah.
of not just the... I'll ignore the history of Nintendo, of it being like clearly not for kids games, Resident Evil,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
GameCube only.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Like it's obviously not just for kids games, but like just the Switch generation.
Yeah, there's loads of hentai on that eShop.
I mean, the amount of hentai porn that you can watch, but like the amount of adult games that are
Yes.
on there
Yeah, there's
that
loads.
clearly aren't kids games. It's a really like, I think it's a really lazy brush to tar
Yeah.
the Switch with, is to
It
say it's just kids
launched
game.
with Skyrim.
Exactly.
It's not a kids game. It's got Doom on it. It's not a kids game. Do you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah.
There's so much stuff on there.
I always get my head always goes to Metroid.
Yeah,
Metroid Dread.
and that's
Definitely not a kids
first
game.
party Nintendo title.
Yes.
And they're not kids games.
No,
are
it's
they?
violent. It's about
Yeah.
killing things.
Yeah.
You're a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
dark. It's a little
Yeah.
bit scary. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played because I'm rubbish at platforming. And then you go to like the Prime remasters. Obviously, Prime 4's coming. Like they're first-person shooters. They're definitely not kids
No,
games.
they're
Like you
not
say
kids
Doom.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. If you think Nintendo and just think Mario, then you can come to that conclusion. But,
of course, that's there.
but that's just stupid.
Yeah, but also like Astrobots on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh, it's just kids games.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
No.
no.
So I thought it was a really, for a big publisher, I thought it was a real disparaging kind of
Yeah,
take
yeah.
on Nintendo.
Yeah, yeah. I think so too.
It's a bit lazy. I was going to also talk about 50 series cards before we get into the main topic, but we're already half an hour in.
Are we?
50
wow.
series, you can't buy one. What a shock. Also,
Yeah.
they're melting themselves in
Yay.
China. So, you know,
There you go.
don't buy one yet.
In
well,
China.
you can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't buy the Chinese version.
Yeah, because it's different.
Is it a surprise that there's a shortage of them? No.
No.
Is there a shortage of them every generation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, then there
Cool.
we go. Who's buying them anyway?
I don't know.
Who's buying them?
I don't know.
Who's lining up and going, yeah, I'll buy it
And
day
it's
one?
only the 5080 and 5090 that are out.
Yeah.
So there's none of the like reasonably priced ones
So
yet.
who's spending? Who's waiting to spend £2,000?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Unless you're
a
like
lot
a
of them.
professional, you know.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. No. Today,
Oh no.
I wanted to get into hot water. I wanted to dive deep on something.
Uh oh.
It's come up recently, and it kind of annoyed me. So I wanted to talk about it. And that is the question raised: what is the point of Xbox?
Yes.
As in, why buy or why bother with an Xbox now going forward? And I guess it makes sense to talk about like all the reasons against, and then obviously why I think it's a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to say why Xbox, you might as well say why PlayStation as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's the same arguments apply
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the point of an Xbox in 2025?
And people are coming to that just purely because they're going multi-platform.
Yes. Yeah. So to give you the background, if you've been sleeping under a rock or don't pay attention to Xbox at all, obviously Phil Spencer's been keen to come out to say that all of the games on Xbox should be available wherever you want to play them. And in fact, really, Xbox is more than just the console. It is the platform on which you're playing Xbox games. Yeah, so they're moving away from the necessity. And you have to admit in this, in a negative sense for Xbox, but it's partly born out of the fact that they are really struggling with hardware sales. They are behind everyone else.
Yeah.
They're last place in the console kind of sales compared to PlayStation and Nintendo. So this kind of is born out of a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
But also, to say what's the point of the Xbox, I think is to undermine all consoles.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bigger question.
Yeah.
The first thing is was it this week or last week? They announced Forza 5's coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, I think that was the other week, but yeah.
So one of the kind of key, I almost said Nintendo, key Xbox IPs is on PlayStation now. So they're clearly showing that they're giving everything up.
Yeah, and I think people are upset because obviously Forza was like literally made to compete with Gran Turismo.
Yes.
And now it's going to be sat alongside it on PlayStation.
Now, I'd say Xbox fans rest easy because you're probably not paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Yeah.
And also, it's been out for
how long?
4 years, something like that.
Yep.
Is it 2021 that came out?
It's been a while.
It's been on Game Pass since then.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, which if you've got an Xbox, you almost certainly are.
Yeah, and if not, why do you have an Xbox?
What's the point?
What's the point of an Xbox?
What's the point of an Xbox if you don't have Game Pass?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So you've not been paying for it if you've been playing it at all. It's been out for ages, so you're probably not playing it anymore unless you're like a diehard driving game fan.
Yeah.
It's coming to PlayStation. It'll be great on PlayStation. PlayStation, especially on PlayStation Pro, PS5 Pro, it'll be really good.
Yeah.
But PlayStation fans are going to have to pay £70
Yeah, they're going to have to pay full price.
Full price for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And who gets at least a third of a cut of that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's just such a no-brainer to get their games everywhere.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand the Xbox people that are upset with this.
No.
Like, I can get PlayStation fans going, what's the point of an Xbox now? I can play games, you know? But if you're an Xbox fanboy, even if you're like diehard fanboy with the whole like, there's a PlayStation and Xbox war, which there isn't.
No.
But if you are that way inclined, like, can you not see this as a benefit? Like, you're getting, Xbox are getting more money for selling it to the PlayStation fanboys.
It's free money.
Which means you as an Xbox fan are going to benefit.
Yes.
Because they'll take that money, reinvest it in the company,
and make
better games, you know, make the games better, or make better Xboxes, whatever it is. It's not like you're not winning from this.
Yeah.
And you're still getting it for free on Game Pass.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
It's win-win. I mean, did all games, did Game Pass going to PC affect your Xbox experience if you're an Xbox fan? I would argue it made it better.
Yeah, because now you can play with your friends on PC.
Yes. First, and then secondly, obviously now there's this huge amount more revenue that Xbox can generate.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge amount more PC players than there are Xbox players.
Yeah.
It just seems like a net win. But yeah, all the games are obviously on PC as well. That's been a criticism for a long time. But I'd level the same criticism at PlayStation.
Yeah.
The only difference is there's not a subscription for PlayStation on PC.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game Pass has been on PC for
ages now.
Ages and ages.
I just don't understand the problem with that.
No. The thing that happened this week that's kind of spurred this on a little bit more. Obviously, Forza going was a big IP that Xbox have, in inverted commas, lost. But Xbox rolled out quests onto PC.
Yes.
This got me really kind of thinking about the future of Xbox on PC and multi-platform.
Yeah, these quests are really good. Find and uninstall OneDrive and you get 100 points.
Please tell me that's an actual quest.
No, of course not.
I would love that.
But I wish that was what the PC quests were. Just like fixing your Windows install.
Uninstall OneDrive.
Yeah, you don't need Microsoft Office. You're on a gaming PC. Gain 100 points for uninstalling it.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, so they've brought quests to Game Pass on PC, or Game Pass Ultimate subscribers that are using PC, which was like Xbox's kind of trophy reward system.
Yeah.
And you actually get genuine rewards for it. Like you'll get like Game Pass vouchers and stuff.
Yeah,
with
cool. Like actual monetary value.
Yeah,
if you're a hardcore gamer and you go through these quests.
But you'll get them every day. You like just logging in, they'll give you a point or 10 points or something.
1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. And
You tried.
You do
You
certain
turned up.
achievements in the game. You might get points for that, or play certain games.
Yeah.
It was missing on PC, so that experience was disjointed. And I thought it was really interesting that it's now there because it begins to equalize the experience between PC players and Xbox players even more.
And that's what's always been my issue, being a PC gamer for 25 years, and also being an Xbox gamer and a PlayStation and Nintendo gamer. But whatever, I hated that there was such a disparity between Xbox and PC when they were the same thing in my mind.
Yeah.
It should have always been the same, but it never was. And it's taken this long now to start getting there.
Excuse me. I think about Phil Spencer's words back when the first idea of an Xbox operating system for PC was coming about. And he was talking about the frustration of playing Fallout 76, I think it was, on his Asus ROG Ally.
Yeah, the original Ally,
The original one. Playing on that and then going to play on his Xbox, and he couldn't have the same save file. It wasn't the same profile.
It wasn't the same server. Everything
and it's
was
like, well, why? That doesn't actually make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. You should be able to pick up whatever you want and continue playing.
So the idea was always, let's allow people to have the same experience no matter where they are. And I truly believe that's where part of the giving games up, the exclusivity in games up comes from as well.
Yeah.
Let's allow players to play wherever they want, with whoever they want. And if they are that growing percentage of players that have multiple platforms at their disposal, from their phone, maybe a PC, a laptop, handheld, an Xbox, whatever it is, allow them to have the same exact experience through all of these things.
Yeah.
So Quests it wasn't a big part of that, but it is a step towards that. And it just makes me go, we're going to see more and more of these incremental changes coming.
Yeah.
As Xbox becomes more than the console.
Yes, and it edges closer to that Xbox OS,
Xbox is your fridge.
Yes. Yeah.
Your cat.
Yes.
Your phone.
Yep.
Yeah, your TV. Well, your TV actually can be, can't it?
It can be now, yeah. With was it Fire Stick or something?
Fire Stick, yeah.
Whatever it is.
I fully expect to see different Game Pass subscriptions coming.
Yeah.
Like cloud only maybe.
Yeah.
Family tiers. I think that's been talked about quite a lot.
Yep.
We've talked a lot about Xbox OS and in the need for it coming.
Yeah.
It is just going to be a net win.
Yes.
There's a really intriguing part of it that dawned on us in a recent episode anyway, that our head had all been about handheld.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, how do you make Windows better for handheld gaming? They just need to put Xbox OS on handheld, or just streamline Windows down.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I hadn't considered it, and you were already there. It was like, it will turn all PCs that are gaming focused, so everyone's gaming PC, if they choose to install this, will become Xbox.
Yeah, not just handhelds, any PC.
Any PC. And not Xbox like you're locked down to just Xbox games. Xbox, but like an Xbox OS. So it is Steam Machine. It's the Steam Machine idea.
But with Windows. As the backbone. Yeah.
Which means all the problems you have with Linux of like the anti-cheat and the multiplayer problems, certain games not being supported, that all goes out the window.
Yeah.
But that flexibility and that usability is all there.
Yeah, it's Windows underneath, but it's got a nice shiny Xbox skin with a nice home menu. You can control it with a controller.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that you want. You can add your Steam games, your Epic games, whatever, and you've got Game Pass on it. It'd be amazing. That console experience, which the only thing really on PC currently we have is Steam Big Picture mode.
Yes.
Which is good. It's good and you can add games to it and stuff, but it's not the same.
No.
What Microsoft will be doing with Xbox OS is what we've called it. It will change so much. Like if you can boot straight into it, which you will be able to, it'll be so good.
Yeah.
If you just game on your PC.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you're listening to this, it's probably how you're using your PC.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you just double click on it or whatever for game time.
Yeah.
And then you've got that.
Yeah, you boot into it rather than it.
Yeah.
Or you change
Launch
into
it.
Yeah. I think, so what is the point of Xbox? Because clearly now we've laid out Xbox has transcended the idea of just being a console.
Yeah.
It's now a platform. It is the biggest publisher of games because they own so many.
Everything.
And I think they're going to continue that.
Yes.
They're happy for their games to be everywhere. They want Xbox to be an experience you have from your phone to your PC, to your Xbox, and maybe even in part your PlayStation and Nintendo as well.
Which can only benefit everybody.
So what's the point of buying a console?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
the
exactly.
interesting
Yeah.
part of this
Yeah, yeah,
conversation. I think the first one, the point you made earlier was, well, these games firstly are designed with Xbox in mind.
Yes. So Phil Spencer recently said and answered this question when someone said, well, what's the point of an Xbox then? And he said, well, we want you to buy an Xbox because the hardware is intriguing enough to want that.
Yeah.
Which means they've already said the next console is going to be the biggest generational leap anyone's ever seen in that, because it's just going to have a 5090 in it. It's going to cost $5,000. No, but it will be a massive leap.
Yeah.
Like whatever it will be, according to them, right? But it will be enticing. Whatever they put in it will be enticing you to go yes, and then coinciding with the fact that all of these games are designed with Xbox in mind first. Microsoft and Xbox now aren't going, okay, we're a games developer and we're going to focus on building the game to work on PS5 first, then on Switch, then on PC, and Xbox is last. That'll never be the case. No. It will always be their day one focus for day one releases on Xbox, for the game to run absolutely perfectly on Xbox first, and then PS5 will be later.
Yeah.
So that's the point of an Xbox.
Well, I'd say that's the first point.
Well, yeah, it's the first point. Yeah,
the second point for me is if you look at the launch models, Xbox Series X to PS5, comparable in price, but incomparable in their hardware.
Yes.
The Xbox Series X was a superior computer to the PS5.
Yeah, it's more powerful.
It was a more powerful computer. So it's a really compelling offer when you consider value of money for performance that you're getting. You're getting a very capable gaming, let's call it PC.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Especially compared to the competitor, which is a PS5. And in order to get better than that, then you need a PS5 Pro, which is considerably more money. So that offer is really compelling. And I think the other compelling part of the offer, just of the baseline hardware, which is really overlooked by PlayStation, it's the backwards compatibility.
Absolutely, yeah.
Such a big deal.
Yeah, massive.
And they've said that that's such a key part to their offering that it's going to continue going forward.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an easy thing to do.
No, not
PlayStation haven't been able to do it.
No.
They've struggled, mainly because of how complicated the PS3 was.
Yeah.
So they're kind of there's like a block in their timeline. But also, I think they could get around it with emulation of some kind.
Yeah. Well, I think they do already, don't they, on the PlayStation Plus thing?
Yeah, but you can't put your disc in.
No, you can't put your disc in. Yeah. Whereas with Xbox, you can put your disc in.
And they've got around it in a really simple way. You're not playing it off the disc.
No.
That's just your license.
Yeah.
Which PlayStation could do.
Yeah, but they won't.
No. But Xbox, if you don't know, you get any Xbox game from history, and not all of them, but for the most part, I'd say 90% of them, probably
There's
a little bit
lot.
more.
Yeah, there's a lot percentage.
You put your disc in and you'll download like the latest version of that game.
Yeah,
it might be slightly upscaled.
Yeah. It's crisper 4K or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're really nice.
And it's not something you pay for. It's just you put your disc in. You've already bought this game.
You've already
clearly
got the game 25 years ago.
Yeah.
You stick it in and it just downloads it for free.
Such an under talked about feature.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I remember saying when the PS5 Pro was being rumored before it was kind of announced what it was, if they're going to do a premium piece of hardware that's really expensive, if they made it backwards compatible as well, I would have gone out and bought it.
That's a day one buy for $799.
I think for most PlayStation fans it is.
Yeah.
£800. It's not just the most powerful PlayStation ever. You can play all of your PlayStation games on it. Like, holy
I would have
hell.
bought one.
Yeah. Because now you've got this like PlayStation archive. But they're kind of steamrolling ahead and just moving past that. Nintendo are notoriously rubbish with backwards compatibility as well.
Yeah, for long. Yeah, but I mean, you look at their
beyond more than one generation.
They're so random.
Yeah, and I did remember hearing someone from Nintendo talking about it, saying that it's notoriously expensive and difficult to do because architecture changed so much so quickly.
Yeah.
And because it's not used by as many people as you would think, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it really isn't. I bet you on even Xbox, it's probably only like 10% of people that bother use it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they still support it for that. They don't just shut it down.
Which does suggest that they are for the players.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that with my Series X, I can go to the local games exchange shop.
Don't give yourself ideas here. It's almost lunchtime and it's around the corner.
And I could buy like
No.
Red Dead Redemption 1,
Well, yeah, you could.
and it's probably like £3 in there.
Yeah.
Pop it in and get the latest version of it.
Or buy the remake on PS4 for full
For
price.
£50 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For PS4. Yeah, so I think there's compelling hardware reasons about it. Games are optimized for certain.
Yes.
It's great value for money for the hardware that you're getting.
Yeah.
And that backwards kebab, it's easy for me to say.
Kebab.
My backwards kebab is very easy.
How do you eat a kebab backwards? You pull it out of your mouth.
The other thing, okay, is why buy an Xbox? It's Game Pass. Now, this is going to be a bit prickly because obviously Game Pass is available on PC.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But Game Pass, Game Pass, day one, you have all of these games.
Yeah.
Forza's on Game Pass, and you're paying £70 for it on PlayStation. If you've got Game Pass, it's free. Indiana Jones was free on Games Pass, and that's a AAA epic game. It's coming to PS5. Okay, so what's the point in the Xbox? Well, on PS5, you're going to pay £70 for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't pay £70 for it on the...
Yeah, and that's the thing is, if you're a PlayStation player and you buy one of these games,
Yes.
and that's it forever of time.
Yeah.
Fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to buy an Xbox because I only want to play Indiana Jones, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cool story. But when people are like, yeah, there's no point of an Xbox because I can play every game on PlayStation now, are you really going to be spending £70 every launch title? Really?
Yeah.
So you're going to buy every Xbox title at £70 each?
I don't think so.
So buy 2 games, that's more of the price than a year's worth of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which you then have access to like 500 plus games.
And all the new releases that happen in
every
that
day
year
one,
as well.
Yeah, every day one
Day
release.
one.
What? Like,
Now, first-party Xbox games, for the most part, for as long as we can see, and at least in the recent past as well, they're all day one Game Pass now. They're not day one multi-platform. As in, you'll be able to play them on PC. But they're not day one PlayStation.
No.
And that's another important point as to why buy Xbox.
yeah.
So not only do I get access to it as part of my subscription, which is really cheap, I also get access to it at launch.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is an incredible game. I absolutely loved playing it, and I think it will do really well on PlayStation. It'll probably look really good as well, although it was optimized for Xbox.
Yes. Yeah, but it'll be really good on PS5 Pro. Yeah.
with Pissa and stuff. It'll look great. My point being is that I didn't pay for it.
Yep.
It's part of my subscription.
Yep.
And I played it and completed it in December.
Yeah.
And when's it coming out on PlayStation? Is it springtime, something like that?
It's like 6 months later.
6 months later. So if you really wanted to play it and you're really kind of impatient, you don't have access to it. So there is still an element of exclusivity there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're timed exclusivity.
Yes.
But without having to pay for it.
Yeah. So you've got to wait and pay for it. Kind of like what Nintendo do with physical games.
Now, the counter to that is that, well, it's available on PC.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. It's available on PC. And in fact, if you've got a PC, you probably should just play it on PC.
Oh, yeah. There's no need to have an Xbox.
No need to have an Xbox
if you've got a PC. Yeah. If you've got PS5 and PC, you're sorted.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. And in fact, if you want the best way to play it, if you want Indiana Jones to look as good as it could and perform as well as it can, play it on PC. Definitely play it on PC. In fact, all the Xbox games are on PC. What PlayStation games aren't on PC?
Well, more and more are coming.
I can't think of.
Not first party titles.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Can't think of any.
And yeah, there's a timed difference there. But if we're talking about what's the best way to play them, PC every time.
Yeah, especially with Nixies on them. I know there's been some discourse around Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Or apparently it's a bit shoddy, but apparently it was rushed out. So, that will get updated and patched.
Yeah.
But typically the PlayStation ports to PC have been
recently been very good. Miles Morales was very good. Wasn't it?
Yeah. They all have Ghost of Satsuma.
Yes, good point.
All of them.
So all those games, all those great PlayStation games, and they are amazing games, are available on PC. And we've talked about how quick that time frame is shrinking.
Yes.
From release to it being on PC. So if we're talking about what's the best way to play games well, just get a PC.
Yeah, you don't
and
even
focus on
need a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. You've got all of the best PlayStation games that will be going there and that are there. You've got all of every Xbox game, day one Game Pass, and you've got the entire Steam library, you've got the Epic's library. Like, you've got access to everything. It's the definitive way to play every game.
Yeah.
Of course. But I guess my point then is if we're discounting Xbox as an existence because it's available multi-platform on PC as well, then we have to discount PlayStation for the same reason.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for a PlayStation if there's no reason for Xbox.
I would say there's less reason for the PlayStation now. I feel like they're getting left behind with the times. By wall gardening themselves. By wall gardening themselves. I look at PlayStation and I see the price of the accessories.
Yes.
And I go, nah.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nah, I'm all right. I'd rather wait for the releases of the games to come to PC.
But you spent £80 on a DualSense controller.
Yeah.
No, all right.
No, it's fine.
And a DualSense Edge controller, it's just £250.
Yeah, exactly. The price is outrageous. I mean, I will admit, if you're playing any PlayStation game on PC, buy a DualSense Edge to play them with.
Yeah.
Because it's so much better. You know, I've been playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth with a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You've been using the Hex one, haven't you?
I've been using the Hex gaming. That is outrageously priced. I know I just said PlayStation got really high prices. This is insane.
Yeah.
This controller costs as much as a Series S. But that's not what I'm trying to say. Don't spend $300 on this controller. What I'm just saying is just have a DualSense controller for the PC.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
And that's the other point. It's like one of the big selling features of the PS5 was the DualSense Edge controller.
Now you got that support on PC.
Yeah.
Official support.
Yeah, full support.
You can
firmware updates.
I was going to say, you can firmware update.
And obviously all the remapping and everything that's there. So if we're killing Xbox if we're putting Xbox in Room 101 because there's no point for it to exist anymore, because of multi-platformism, then the same has to be true of PlayStation because that's happened. So really the only places that exist for gaming are PC and Nintendo.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we're killing Xbox, we have to kill PlayStation as well. I can't wait for that to be clipped out.
I personally think that Xbox and Microsoft are on something. You know?
I think they are.
I think it's the way forward. The Play Anywhere thing is genius. You know, like I want to be able to continue. And what I really like about Xbox as well is a lot of the titles going forward are you buy it on Xbox, you also automatically have the PC version.
Such a good thing.
But that's what I hated about having all systems prior. It's like, okay, I'll have to rebuy it on.
Same's not true for PlayStation.
No,
is it?
exactly. Yeah. So
until a PlayStation PC launcher comes out, that's linked to your PSN account, which obviously throws up its own issues.
Yeah.
There was some one of the channel members actually pointed out, Temperius, Jamie pointed out that I did it in the news thing that they had got rid of PSN logins for PC games. Spider-Man 2 was coming out. Last of Us Part 2 remastered, Horizon Zero Dawn.
I think we brought that up on the last podcast as well.
But there's more to that story that came out afterwards.
Oh, is there? Okay.
So they removed the PlayStation Network login and made it optional and gave you a perk of some in-game
cosmetics,
for doing it. And I was like, oh, that's really great. It's really great to see they finally listened to players, and perhaps this will start seeing those games being able to be played in wider territories.
No.
They've removed the games from the territories where they don't have a PlayStation Network. So something like 150 countries those games aren't playable in.
So they've just shot themselves in the foot. So this is an example of why PlayStation suck, because
they're backwards.
They are backwards. Like, why? If you're making it optional, why would you only release it in a country where
here's a solution
it can be there?
If you want to be Apple, which they clearly do,
yeah,
I'm fine with it. I love PlayStation. Okay, I'm fine with you doing that. Nintendo do a pretty good job of it.
Yeah,
they're not as overpriced like Sony are, but if that's what their direction they want to go, do that. Be a walled garden.
Yes.
Be totally exclusive. Your controllers don't work on PC.
Yeah.
Your stupid VR headset doesn't work on PC.
Yeah.
Your games aren't available on Steam.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're either in or out, but this half in, half out, it just gets, and especially the PC market, it gets players really upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And it should.
And I would say that PC gamers are more likely to vote with their feet than any other camp. They're more likely to go, do you know what? Screw your game. I'm not going to play another PlayStation game. I know that definitely happened with the PSN the network
Yeah.
thing, the login thing.
It's just stupid. Why make it removable, but then not offer it to countries that can't have a PSN account? Like what?
It's obscene.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's a real shady move.
Doesn't make
it
any
felt
sense.
dirty.
Yeah.
But what I will say is kind of the point you were getting to is the age. I think Microsoft are absolutely right with this, because I think the age of exclusivity is over. It's dead. We're past it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think we're also in an age where a lot of us gamers, especially us, are we millennials? Is that what we are? Whatever we are.
Old.
Old now. I think us that grew up with gaming,
Yeah, we are millennials. Yeah.
we are far more likely now to have multiple platforms in which we play on, multiple different screens in which we engage with, maybe even at the same time. But yeah, well,
Like
I mean,
Neo.
yeah.
Just like screens all around us.
But we're way more likely to have more than one gaming device.
Absolutely.
Is my point.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I love about this whole Xbox thing.
Yes.
I want to be able to play on my Xbox and go, actually, I want to play on my PC now.
Yeah.
Actually, I got the Switch version. I want to be able to continue that
Or
anywhere.
At very least, I've got my Xbox for playing when I'm in the lounge.
Yeah.
But actually, I travel a lot.
Stream to your tablet. Boom.
By
I'm
ROG
on.
Ally.
Yeah, got an ally. There we go. I'm in. And that is how it should be.
Yeah. And I play the same game, same.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the age in which we're in. We've moved past it. And I think there's more and more people that are migrating over towards the PC ecosystem as well. I think Steam Deck's done a huge amount of work in that. And the PC handhelds is obviously the next generation of that. I see it in the comments all the time. I know we cover them, so we're bound to see these people. But I also see people that are like, I have just bought it now.
Yeah.
And it's my first experience of PC gaming.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Yep, I get it.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
it. That's where we're at now.
Yep.
So people are multi-platforming. So the games should be multi-platform.
And that's going to
as well.
increase more.
Yes,
especially
I
with
think so.
Xbox OS.
When Xbox OS happens, yeah. And when SteamOS rolls out as well.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
two things are going to be huge.
Yeah, people are going to be building proper systems with that.
Yeah, and I think PC gaming will really pick up pace. So multi-platformism is the future. So the argument, go back to the point, what's the point of an Xbox? I think is a really stupid thing to make
Yeah.
in an era of multi-platformism.
Yeah.
What's the point of it? There is no point of it if we're going to say about exclusivity.
Yeah.
As much as there's no point for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's no point of a PC in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Just
all
have a
the-
Switch.
They should be all just get a Nintendo Switch and be happy. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
We've moved past it being these isolated things, and actually, they're just gaming machines, and they should all work in harmony.
Yeah. It's a bigger picture now.
It is a bigger picture now. PlayStation need to. I think, if anything, this argument needs to be that PlayStation need to step up more.
Yes. Yeah,
and get their
I
finger
feel
out with
that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like PlayStation have been left behind.
Yeah.
They want to be seen as the dominating force, and all the PS fanboys look at it that way.
Yeah.
I got a lot of love for PlayStation, but the more time goes on, the more I get annoyed at them.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're getting left behind.
Yeah.
They need to expand more. You know, I think what Xbox are doing is the right thing.
Yeah.
And you know, I think with what they're aiming at here makes me like Xbox more than I ever have done.
Yeah, and if you're a PlayStation fan, you've just won because you're getting Xbox games coming to PlayStation. That's
and
a
you're giving
win-win.
all the Xbox people money.
And if you're an
Hey.
Xbox fan, you're winning because you've got more
exactly.
investment for the future.
Which means better consoles, better like games, like,
Cheaper
it's just
hardware.
cheaper hardware. You know, better game. Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everyone. If PlayStation want to, people want to play full price, don't complain.
Yeah.
You're getting a better deal out of it.
Yeah, totally agree. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. I know it's a bit of a hot potato of a topic,
Yes.
so undoubtedly, loads of you are going to disagree or
yeah.
agree. I know there's going to be a high percentage of comments where people haven't even watched the video.
100%.
Which happens
Yeah.
quite frequently when
Happens
we
a
do
lot.
a topic like this. But let us know. Join in the conversation down below. Agree, disagree. I don't mind. It's all a conversation.
Or do neither.
Or do neither.
Be impartial.
Just talk about Andy's jacket. Do you like
Yes.
it? I do.
My jacket is
Yeah.
actually. Can anyone guess? Kingston Falls. Anyone?
I know
Anyone?
what it is.
You've got 3 seconds in the comments to tell me what this is.
2,
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Can they see it in the camera?
Yes, they can.
There you go.
Is it Gremlins?
It's Gremlins. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought thought I made a wrong leap for a second.
No, it's Gremlins, yeah.
And mine is orange. Like
It is orange.
Capri Sun.
I like that.
Yeah, thanks
It's
very
good.
much.
Haven't had one of them in many
No,
years.
no, never mind. Oh yeah, joining the conversation down below. If you're listening to us on Spotify or any of the podcast places, please rate the show, and we love you for being there as well. Anything else that they should do?
Become a member.
Yes,
Yay!
channel memberships.
And you
yes.
can see these videos sometimes early.
I like it, yeah.
But you get to talk to us over
Yes.
on our private Discord.
Lovely place to be. There'll be some more videos smashed up between our faces. More exciting stuff coming soon. And until then,
See you next time.
wow.
Wow.